if you don't have one of these, I have a couple extras of them and we can pass them around, or I can have Nicole pass them out. But it's a great tool for you to take with you after today to give you some tools to start implementing social media. Okay, so before I start on my social media spiel, I'm really passionate about it, but to give you a little bit about myself, I live in Abilene. I'm a military spouse. I actually graduated from Texas A&M with an event planning degree. And I moved to Abilene. I was newly married, and I thought it would be super easy to find a job, and it wasn't. And my mom signed me up for Juice Plus, and she was like, I really think this could be great for you. And I was like Nicole, I told my mom, I said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, I'm not one of those girls. And so anyway, long story short, this business has changed my life, blessed me beyond belief, and so I'm excited to talk to you today about social media because it's been catalyst in my growth of my business. And so social media for you might feel like a very overwhelming topic. And so I just want to challenge you today because it may be easy to shut down because the logistics of social media, the how-tos, all of those things can feel very overwhelming, but I'm going to give you some simple, practical tools today to empower you to begin. Because I believe that social media is the future, and if you are not utilizing it to share your story, you are missing out on an incredible group of people that you have the opportunity to touch and to reach. And so my goal today is for you to know that you can share your story without selling the product and being pushy and icky and gross. That's not the feeling that anybody wants to have. So with that said, I'm going to talk about why social media is a business must. Target markets, Facebook versus Instagram, creating curiosity, and then you're going to start today. So let's talk about why social media is a business must. If you go on the internet and search social media and buying decisions, you will be blown away by the research that's been done on social media and the percentage of people that make their decisions for what they buy based on recommendations. 70% of your following is making decisions based on social media. So if you have 100 followers, 70 of those people are going to be influenced, and they want to be influenced to buy something. I do it all the time. I'm sure you all do too. You go on social media, your friend recommends a lip gloss, your friend recommends a shirt, whatever that looks like. We all go on social media to be influenced, and we're all looking for something to help fix our problems or fix a need that we have. And so Forbes, which obviously is a big name company, has shown that 78% of consumer purchases are impacted by companies' social media posts. And so whether you use Facebook, whether you use Instagram, if you don't have either, I want to encourage you to pick one and start. It doesn't have to be perfect, but start, because your story has power. And the world wants to hear your story. You were given a story for a reason, and if you're not sharing it, you're missing out. Okay, so let's talk about engagement over promotion. Actually, before I say that, I want to say one other thing to you. I want to talk about being an influencer. I want you to know that whether you have 1 follower or whether you have 1 million followers, you're an influencer because somebody's following you for a reason. And so I think it's easy to be like, well, I only have 10 people that follow me, or I only have 500 Facebook friends, or whatever that number looks like for you. It's easy to disqualify ourselves. And so I don't want you to disqualify yourself based on the number that you have, because that doesn't matter. Because the odds are the people that follow you on Instagram or your Facebook friends, not all of them are your Juice Plus customers. Not all of mine are, and I'm sure not all of yours are. Okay, so engagement, not promotion, or advertising is often the drive behind purchasing decisions. So educating people and empowering them to make a decision is super, super important. People want to feel educated because when they feel educated, they feel empowered to make a decision. So if I were to come in front of you and I were to talk to you about the power of Juice Plus and all that it could do for your body and educate you on that, you would feel more inclined to purchase it rather than me sell, 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 sell. And that's how I want to encourage you to use your social media platform, is to educate people. And the particular study that I looked at this on was for millennials, but, got a seed. But regardless of your generation, nobody wants to be sold to, nobody wants to be pushy, nobody wants that feeling, regardless of your age. I mean, who feels that way about social media, and maybe who's scared to start social media because they don't want to come across that way. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of myself. I just did this past week on my Instagram stories about the power of engagement over just promoting the product. Can you click that? I don't know. Or if I can.
Hi guys, good morning. I hope that your day is off to a great start. I hope if you watched my live video, it encouraged you this morning. I wanted to hop on really quick. I am going to be sending out to 5 people only some samples that I got in the mail. And so I wanted to hop on here really quick. I was just watching a really interesting video this morning on Juice Plus and your skin and fruits and vegetables. And so I wanted to just share that with you because I think education is power. And when you feel educated, you feel empowered to make changes in your life. And so skin is obviously a hot topic for me. I talk about it all the time. It has been, and in seasons and ebbs and flows, been a big insecurity for me. I'm not wearing any makeup this morning. I feel like my skin is looking really good. I'm really happy with it right now. But my skin has always had this glow since I started taking Juice Plus a year and a half ago. Even through the acne and all the things, it has just glowed. And so the research that's been done talks about how wrinkles and age spots, pore size, and glow can all be things that are improved through your diet. When you put crappy things in your body, it's going to come out through your skin. When you're detoxing, it's going to come out through your skin. And so, when you put more fruits and vegetables in your diet, you see that in your skin. And usually you see that within, what you're eating today, you'll see show up in a month on your face because your skin's cells are regenerating. And if you're putting bad things in your body, those things will come out, a month later. So, Juice Plus, with all the fruits and vegetables that you're getting in the fruits, the berries, and the veggies, you're getting over 30 vine-ripened fruits and veggies that are juice-dried and put into a capsule or gummy form, which the gummy form is what I'm going to send to 5 people that message me first. And so it improves the density of your skin, which makes your pores appear smaller. When I get my facials, the first time I got my facial and she evaluated my skin, she was like, your pores, they're so tiny. And big pore size is something that women are constantly trying to improve. And with putting more fruits and vegetables in your diet, that's an area you can improve. It also improves, so fruits and veggies help your body to retain water, which ultimately hydrates your skin and gives it that beautiful glow where you're like, oh my gosh, her skin is glowing. And so diet plays a huge part in that. Yes, you can put all of the products that you want on your skin on the outside, but if you are not putting good things on the inside, you're going to be sorely disappointed with your skin. And so all of that to say, I am wanting to give out to 5 different people that follow me and are a part of this community a chance to try the gummies because they are so good and I believe so strongly that they can improve and benefit you in your life. That's what the research says. That's what my friends, my family, everyone that is taking it talks about. Energy, skin, hair, nails, all of the things. And those are just surface level things, not to mention all the things it's doing on the inside. And so, if you have been curious about trying it, I would love to send you some gummies. So, the first 5 people to drop their name below will get a message from me. I'll get your address and I will send you the fruit and the veggie and the berries. So, I hope that y'all have an amazing day. Thanks for listening and we'll touch base later.
Okay, so there is a prime example, and I kind of created some engagement and excitement with posting, hey, this is how many are left. And so maybe doing a video for you is scary and daunting. Start with photos, start with something. Pick a subject that is powerful for you, or maybe it's a little bit of a vulnerable spot for you. Skin is a very vulnerable spot for me. I've struggled with acne a lot. And so being vulnerable and real with people is how you connect with people. And that's what really people want over social media. They want human connection. They want to feel like what they're experiencing is maybe something that you're experiencing, because it's often easy to put people on a pedestal on social media. And so if you can be real, raw, and vulnerable with people and provide education, it's powerful. And it moves people to make a decision. about Instagram versus Facebook. Two very different platforms, but they also coexist. Obviously, they're under the big social media umbrella. So Instagram, you are telling a story with pictures. People want it to look very cohesive, to have a rhythm, and to be very... on Instagram is usually that's their first impression of you. And so they're like, okay, I want to follow them. Here's the thing with Instagram though, it's a wide network. If your profile is public, you could have people following you that you don't know. So it's also a warm market for you, but it's also a very cold market. I have a lot of people that follow me that I don't know and don't have a personal relationship with. And so I have the opportunity to potentially share Juice Plus with them by educating them on my platform. If you do have Instagram, I want to encourage you, and you're utilizing it and feel comfortable with it, Stories, which is the feature that you just saw me use in the video, is a really, really powerful tool. People, like 3 to 4 times of the people that view your actual post, view your story. So I get hundreds, sometimes 1,000 views on my story, and only about 3.5% of the people that follow you will see your post. So if you can educate in stories and do videos, it's really powerful. I don't have jingle bells. I don't know what that is.
December's just around the corner.
Was it Santa sent an elf to remind us?
So utilizing stories is a great feature, and if you are using Instagram and feel comfortable using stories, I strongly encourage you to do so. Okay, so Facebook, you're telling a story with words. It's not very curated. People can do a lot of educational and talk for a very long time, and a photo isn't necessarily edited. It's a much closer network of people. You're usually interacting with people that you've gone through in different stages of life. I mean, you think about your high school friends, your college friends, you know, all those different things. And so it's a warmer market, and it's a little more real life. So here's an example. These are my first 9 squares when you get to my profile. This is kind of your first impression that you're seeing of me, and I've included that for you to look at in the notes. And then here, if you were to go and look at my Facebook profile, I have I've been tagged in things and all of that kind of stuff, and so that shows up on my feed. So it's much more real, and this post that I wrote here is really, really long. And so that's okay. It's much more natural, and it's a great place to start if you've never utilized social media before. Okay, so let's talk about target markets. Who here knows what a target market is? Okay, so a target market, this is crucial in social media. This is also crucial in events. So, you know, they say a jack of all trades, a master of none. The same goes for who you're trying to talk to when it comes to Juice Plus. And so if I'm to use myself as an example, if I'm trying to market and target everyone in any and all age groups, I'm probably going to reach no one, because the reality is I can't relate to everyone and anyone. But there are certain groups that I have been a part of, or a demographic that I am in, that I can relate to. I know their problems, I know their struggles, because I've been there. And the same goes for you. So when you write a post, think about who you're speaking to. When you plan an event, why did you do that particular event? What was your goal? If you're trying to share Juice Plus with everyone, you are not going to reach anyone. So if I'm to take myself as an example, I'm a millennial, I'm a military spouse, and anxiety, depression, and gut health is a huge part of my story. And so if I'm to pick 3 target markets of 3 specific people that I'm going to focus on, I'm going to market to the military spouses. I know what it's like, I know their pain, I know their struggles, I know what their problems are, and I'm going to empower them to take care of their health while their spouses are gone, and the importance of valuing themselves and their family, even though they are tirelessly and fearlessly giving of themselves, even if it's not in the war zone or whatever that looks like. I'm also a millennial. I get to speak to the millennials on if they don't feel that the 9-to-5 mold fits them, that there are other options, and that's okay. And I also want to empower the millennials to realize the value and importance of their health. And that if they're not taking care of themselves, they're going to look back 20 years from now and wish they had done more prevention. And then the third group of people that I will market to is people that struggle with anxiety, depression, and gut health. I know what it's like to experience those things. I know those problems, and I know how Juice Plus can solve them. And so my question for you is, who are your 3 target markets? Start with 3. Who are the people that you know their problems, that you know their struggles, and you can relate to them, and you can help show a way to have Juice Plus solve that? And so I want to give you 30 seconds to write down who you think your target markets are. And you might not be able to come up with everyone today, and that's okay. Take some time to think about it, because if you can implement this strategy in your events and your social media posts, it will change how you run things moving forward, because it's powerful, because people feel the power of human connection. So take 30 seconds and write a few things down. All right, Feather, can I pick on you?
Yes.
All right, talk to me. If you want to, actually, you can come up. Come on up. Okay, I am going to help Feather walk through target markets and kind of drilling down what this can look like for each of you, because it's very easy to get really broad, and we want to get specific, because being specific is important, because that's how you relate to people and get on a really personal level. So Feather, talk to me about if you were to, try and think of some target markets, who would be the people that you would try to market to?
People who suffer with mental health, anxiety, depression, migraines, ADHD, and then cancer patients.
Okay, so those are 2 very specific groups. You can talk about the power of Juice Plus and how it can help prevent the formation of cancer. You can talk about the power of that. You can talk about the mental health aspect. 2 of those are very big target markets that you can do a lot of information, social media posts, and events with. Okay, so thinking about your 3rd one, and thinking about your life and what you've walked through, or a demographic of people that you're in, who could be a potential, or what could be a potential 3rd market for you to reach?
Infertility.
Okay, so it's okay. Yes, that's a really powerful, tough subject that Feather has the ability to speak to women and men about that subject. And that's a specific target. It's a vulnerable target. But think about the influence and the power that she would have, and that she has by standing in front of you all and sharing that. It moves you. You feel educated. You feel empowered. You want to make a decision. Thank you. You guys sit down. And so I just want to encourage you to get specific. It's okay. It might feel hard, and it might feel like you might feel unsure. But if you can get specific, it's going to change the way that you do business and the way that you do events. Okay, so let's talk about creating curiosity. I think this is really important, because we never want somebody. We look at people's Facebook profiles, and people that have Juice Plus written all over their profile, it's kind of obnoxious. You're like, oh gosh, you love Juice Plus so much. Like, ugh, it's just, don't get me wrong, I love Juice Plus, and I am so proud of it, of the company that I represent, and I know that you are too. But creating curiosity is really important, because, I don't even remember who said this, if you give them all of it, they're like, okay, great. There's nothing that entices them and continues to want them to come back and listen to you and what you have to say. And so using words like whole food nutrition, plant powders, encapsulated fruits and vegetables. You saw in my video, I proudly stated Juice Plus, and that was the product that I was handing out as a sample, but I educated and empowered, and it was, all of those things are connected, and so I think that's really important. Because if those things aren't connected, you're just another girl or you're just another guy on the internet that's pushing the next product. Because there are a million products on the market. But what I believe, and like Kathy said, and everybody has talked about this community, and that's what's so different about us. And so that's what you need to try and communicate over the internet. And that's where the human connection piece comes in. Okay, so in closing, I want you guys to start today. And what a better way to start than to take a picture with someone in this room and talk about the community, because our community is powerful. So I don't want you to put Juice Plus in this post. I want you to talk about community. What does community mean to you? How has this community impacted your life? And I want you to share that, talk about that. Think about the power that you could have, just one person seeing your post. I like to think of it that way. I'm like, if one person sees this post and is impacted by it, then I've done my job. Who cares if 100 people see it and scroll right past it? Because let's be honest. People go on social media to be filled up. And I'm not saying that's the place they should be going to get filled up, but if you have the power to speak into them and share with them a beautiful, powerful message that could potentially change your life and you're not, you're missing out. And so I want you to take 30 seconds, if we can turn the lights on. I want you to take a picture with somebody. You don't necessarily have to post it right now. And I'm pretty sure you have this slide on your notes. So think about these questions today when you go to post. And I would love if you would tag me in it so that I can see it. So take a quick selfie, and then we'll close.
I'm gonna do a second. I'm gonna because I already got the post in my head.
Yeah.